Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. The EU now wants to review the Opel deal. Carl Icahn may take a run at buying Delphi, and GM slashes pensions for executives. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Monday, June 15th, 2009, and now the news. The Industry Commission of the European Union wants a thorough review of the bailout plans for Opel. One commissioner says the fact that no private investors have stepped forward shows this is a high-risk venture, reports the AFP. He says the only one who will benefit from this is Gaz, the Russian car maker, which will get access to automotive technology that will allow it to export cars back to Europe. Gaz is partnering with Sberbank, the Russian bank that is part of the buyout of Opel. Activist investor Carl Icahn is considering taking another run at Delphi. According to Reuters, now that a federal judge has blocked Delphi's sales to Platinum Equity Partners, Icahn is reportedly interested in making another offer. GM is slashing pensions for its top executives. The Detroit News reports that executives who were paid less than $100,000 a year in pensions will not be affected, but everyone else will only get one-third of what they were owed in excess of $100,000. It says this could cost ex-GM chairman Rick Wagner $15 million of the $20 million that he was supposed to get. And in other GM news, Bo Anderson, who ran the company's purchasing operations, left the company immediately last Friday to pursue other interests. Mazda developed a way to paint vehicles that reduces volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, that are found in paints, as well as cutting CO2 generated during the painting process. Mazda's system includes an improved air conditioning system and a new evaporation system that removes the water contained in water-based paint, which is where most CO2 is produced. Mazda was also able to consolidate the painting process by developing top-coat paints that have the qualities of primer paint, which reduces the amount of paint that's needed. The Honda Insight may fall short of Honda sales goals in the U.S. According to Bloomberg, Honda expected sales of about 90,000 cars, but will probably only hit as little as 60,000 in sales. Low gas prices, even though prices have been on the rise lately, the weak economy, and competition from the new Prius are contributing to lower than expected sales. As we reported last week, it looks like Saab might be sold to Koenigsegg and a group of Norwegian investors. But who or what is Koenigsegg? This is probably the first time most people in the auto industry have even heard of the company. It is based in Sweden and was started by Christian von Koenigsegg with the dream of making the ultimate sports cars. It's a small company with only 45 employees who build only 18 cars a year, which start at over $500,000 a piece. Coming up next, we'll take a look at that Honda Insight, and we'll be back right after this.
Changing tires out here could be dangerous, but with these tires, I don't need to worry.
Bridgestone.
Last week I had a chance to test drive the new Honda Insight, and here are some of the things I learned while driving the car.
One of the first things that you really notice about the Honda Insight is all the detail work that went into aerodynamics. For example, on the hood, they have this gasket here, this seal that prevents air from going through the hood underneath it and instead goes over the top of the vehicle. You'll really notice how much plan view that there is in the front of this car. And in fact, there's a tremendous amount of overhang for a car this size. They really pulled the nose out, all for aerodynamic reasons. And then when you come along the side, you can see some of the other detail work that went into it. In the lower rocker, you can see where they flared it out, almost forming a strake. And underneath it, though it's hard to see, there's a spat. Again, that's to help control the airflow around the wheel well openings of the car. And of course, you'll notice what a high separation point that they have in the back of the car, almost giving it a camback kind of look, and a very thin separation point, which is really good for the air to brake and really get off in a smooth way. when you look underneath the car, you'll see that it has a very smooth underbody to it. Nothing really hanging down in the way of the airstream. But enough of talking about the outside. Let's go inside and take this car for a spin.
One of the things I've never gotten used to in driving this Honda Insight is the steering. It's all electric, there's no hydraulics in here, and it didn't get it just right. There's a vagueness in the steering. So when I'm going down the road, I feel like I'm always correcting the steering, which I don't like. You're always sawing at the wheel. Not a lot, but you're always moving the steering wheel, and I don't like that. One of the things that you really notice in this car is how much vibration there is in the rear view mirror. Everything in the mirror is just vibrating, and it's because the windshield's vibrating, because that's what the mirror is attached to. Another thing that's not all that satisfying about the Honda Insight is the acceleration and the noise that comes from the engine. When you put your foot in it, it makes a lot of noise, and it's not exactly pleasant noise.
Even though there's a number of things that I don't like about this car, one thing you've gotta love is the fuel economy. I'm getting 46 miles to the gallon in this car without even trying, not even doing any sort of hyper-miling techniques, and that is pretty impressive.
Well, that does it for today's show. But since we didn't get to last week's trivia contest, let's do that now. We challenged you to tell us what the three letters in Chrysler's high-performance SRT division stand for. And as most of you correctly responded, the answer is Street and Racing Technology. And the lucky winner is Mike Mason of Claiborne, Texas. Congratulations, Mike. You've just won a book all about the development of the Mercedes-Benz R-Class. And don't forget to tune in this Thursday for Autoline After Hours, when our special guest will be Mark LaNave, who runs all sales and marketing at General Motors. That's it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Visit our website for even more great content all week long. Autoline Extra, Dawn's Journal, podcasts, and even more. So click over and get the inside view at AutolineDetroit.tv.